get good grades, take hard classes, and get lucky. Look, point is, I have no idea how I got it. I'm very excited to be joining the class of 2022 next year as an electrical engineer. Go Jackets! Anyway, I've just wanted to make a video because I haven't in a really, really long time and give you guys a general update to what's going on in my life and what my new video production schedule is going to look like for college, because I've been really busy these last couple months writing college essays and preparing for international baccalaureate examinations, among other things. But anyway, I want to show you a couple things that I have in the works, and hopefully we'll be able to make some videos about either now or in the near future. So first off, this is what the shop looks like right now. It's pretty much a mess. I have a lot to clean up, a lot of work to do, lots of scrap that has to go out in order for me to clean up it to get ready to go to college. Over here, this is what ended up happening with my silver relay project. So I tried dissolving the relays in hydrochloric acid and hydrogen peroxide, and that didn't work out. It didn't do anything at all. So what I ended up doing is using this thing right here. This is an aquarium bubbler, and I used an aquarium bubbler to bubble oxygen through pure hydrochloric acid, or 12 molar hydrochloric acid. And what that ended up doing is it dissolved all of my silver too, in addition to my copper, which I think made either silver chloride or silver nitrate. I think it's silver chloride here, but I'm not sure. Anyway, I'm going to be enlisting the help of a local college professor here to get this refined into a nugget of silver, hopefully before I go to college. Okay, so another exciting project that I'm working on can be seen here. Here I am working on an 18650 lithium-ion battery pack. Here I have my A cells over 1800 milliamp hours, my B grade cells 1500 to 1799 milliamp hours, all the other good working cells. Here I've got a bunch of cells charging. This right here is my discharge setup, discharging here into the knockoff IMAX B6. 1 amp running for 9 minutes, and this right here counts up the milliamp hours. Anyway, all of this is for an e-bike project. I needed a way to get around Georgia Tech, so I decided I would make myself an electric bicycle, and this is the pack right here. When it's done, these batteries will move over to here, and the pack will fill up all the rows except this very last row right here. So all of this will be batteries, and they'll be properly hooked up and balanced, etc. I did a lot of research in order to figure out how to make it not blow up in my face and how to make it work properly. So everything is being properly tested, made sure that there's no faults in the batteries, and then I'm going to be matching the milliamp hours so that each parallel pack, it's going to be a 14 series 8 parallel pack, so each parallel pack will have the same number of milliamp hours, and then I'll match the voltages eventually. Over here, I'm working on the basics for a lithium-ion spot welder. So if you look at these batteries right here, you can see that they were all spot welded, and spot welding is the gold standard for 18650 connection. You do not want to solder these. According to what I found, soldering them is not only dangerous, but also shortens their lifespan. So what I'm working on here is an Arduino control. This is the potentiometer and a little 7-segment display. 8-digit 7-segment display, and what I'm trying to do is create a variable pulse width spot welder. So it'll be connected to a large capacitor bank with a beefy MOSFET in between in order to control it, and one potentiometer will set the beginning pulse because most systems use 2 pulses, so it will go up for a configurable delay from 1 to 99 microseconds, or I'm sorry, milliseconds, and then pulse off, and then it'll keep going, and then it'll go for the second configurable pulse. And So that's in the works right now, and that will need to be made before I can finish my battery pack. Over here, I'm trying to engineer a way to cut out the coils of these transformers. I was able to use, for the smaller ones, a portable bandsaw in order to cut off the copper and bang out the centers. But the larger ones, like these right here, are too big for any commercial portable bandsaws, so I'm trying to engineer a solution to that so I can recycle the copper and make some money. Oh, and I forgot to mention that my local Batteries Plus was super nice. I went and I called them and asked them if they had any used laptop batteries. They said they had just sold theirs. I'm sorry, they had just had theirs taken away, but that they would save some for me, and for me to come back in 2 weeks. 2 weeks later, I come back and they give me 3 boxes about this size of old laptop battery packs, and while probably 40 or 50% of them are bad, a good 30% are completely perfect and totally usable for my project. So, good deal, and appreciate the nice people over at Batteries Plus for giving me these batteries. Next up, I've got 2 marine inverters that I'm working on fixing. These are both Xantrex units, and I believe on both of these units the chargers have failed, but the invert is still working. And so I've got to figure out what's wrong with these, hopefully fix them, and then sell them. And over here is a copper pipe J-pole ham radio antenna that I did for a live demonstration for my amateur radio club. Every month we have club presentations, and I decided to do one on building this copper J-pole antenna, and I think one of the guys filmed it for me. So I'll be able to share it with you guys if I get it from them, but suffice it to say, this was a fun project, and this I'm going to finish up and end up donating to one of the hams who doesn't have an antenna in the club. Okay, so just a little bit more quick background on my scholarship and how I ended up choosing Georgia Tech. So suffice it to say, I got into a bunch of schools. Not going to go into that, but I got into about 9 schools, a lot of which were really top-notch. And I was having a hard time deciding when a man from Georgia Tech called my guidance counselor at school, and he asked her a bunch of questions about me and said that there was something special that he was considering for me and wanted to, her opinion on, who I was and what I was like, etc. And so she tells me this the next day, and I get really excited because she's like, that's usually because there's a lot of money involved. So long story short, this man from Georgia Tech, who's in charge of this very specific scholarship, gets in touch with me, and he lets me know that he's considering me for this scholarship, and he had a couple questions for me. So we went through a couple formal questions, and then I asked him a bunch of questions about, what this meant and what was Tech like, etc. And then he asked me if I had ever visited, and so I told him no. So he said he really wanted me to visit, and we got in touch and we worked out an arrangement for me to come visit. And I went and I saw the campus, and I just fell in love. They have an amateur radio club there. They're adding in a new building attached to the Van Leer building, which is for electrical and computer engineering. And they're putting in a bunch more lab space and adding a ton more equipment. Not to mention that they have a ton of labs already. And I talked to the professor who was in charge of managing all of the labs, and he mentioned that at Tech, the labs are open and available for all of the ECE students 24/7. The supplies are there for you. If you need anything, just, let them know, and they'll usually get it for you if you have a good reason as to why you need it. They have a ham radio club there, which is really exciting too, and I talked to the president of the club, and they really are nice and welcoming. And so when I was done with the visit, I got back in touch with the man who was considering me for the scholarship, and he said, look, if this is the place you want to go, then we'll make it happen. And at that point I hadn't heard back from all of my colleges, but I was like, man, this is perfect. This is exactly where I want to be. I love Atlanta. It's beautiful. I had a great experience, and so I took him up on his offer and signed all the paperwork, and that's it. And so I'm going to Georgia Tech, and I'm really excited to go into electrical engineering there, and I'm considering maybe a minor in finance. So what does this mean for you guys? I know I've been really bad at posting videos lately, And I think it's because it was a lot of work for me to make all of the videos. I tried for everything to look really professional and be really well done and well edited and be done in a bunch of takes and pieced together and a nice, thumbnail, etc. And I think that that was a bit too taxing. I would spend probably as much time filming the video as I would with editing and post-production and tweaking and background making and promoting, etc., etc. So I think what I've decided is I'm going to stop trying to promote my videos on other sources like Reddit, etc. I'm just going to make projects. I'm going to try to do them a little bit more quickly and do them in a little bit more of an update style. Rather than trying to have a complete tutorial project, I'm going to show you what I'm working on, and I'm going to show you where I am. And I'm not necessarily going to give you a step-by-step how-to video instead, because that was a little bit too difficult for me to make and for me to organize and film, etc. And when I get to Georgia Tech, I'll make a bunch more videos there, hopefully. That will be this more quick and dirty fashion. And so I think I'm just going to do more update videos, and if you guys have questions or you want to see me turn something into a how-to that you're really excited about, let me know in the comments down below on any of the videos that I'm going to be posting in the future, and I'll see what I can do. Furthermore, I can't promise any more videos really until I get to Georgia Tech, which will be about August 30th, because over the summer I'm going to be working a lot and getting stuff like that done. So I think that's it. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments down below. And because I'm not going to be promoting any of the videos that I'm making in the future, if you guys like something, just make sure to give it a like, because YouTube now is really screwing with a lot of content creators. Anyway, that's it for now, and I will see you guys shortly. Bye.